righty. Thanks for joining us tonight. You're in the zone. I'm Mike Hairston, and sitting next to me is Lucas with the bad outfits. Got the tags on it because it's brand new. They're right, Lucas.
Yeah.
Next to me is Mike Woods as well.
It be shiny. And tonight on the zone, we're talking about the #1 way you can be successful. Dude, don't turn the channel because it's not an infomercial. Still the zone, still got videos and stuff, but we're talking about success, and we've got a very special guest for you tonight as well. So right now, Becca's going to give you our video lineup.
On the show this week, we have for you Rebecca St. James, Dakota, and Audio A. We'll, of course, go more in depth on our topic that Mike's talking about in our Liveson Report. But first, Larry, do you want to kick it off?
Yes, Becca. Welcome, viewers. You ready? Here we go. All together separate. The group is called Paradigm. Now you are locked in the zone, baby.
All right, that was All Together Separate with Paradigm. I'm Tom, and you're in the zone. Now here's Larry for this week's topic.
All right, thanks, Tom. Hey, outstanding job. Hey, we're going to talk about one of the key ingredients to success, and that, no doubt, is attitude. We're going to touch on that. All right. Miss Carla, Mr. Jesse, thank you for doing this. Now, we'll start with you, Carla. We were talking about earlier about what's the difference between attitude and having an attitude.
Well, an attitude is like it could be negative or positive, and having an attitude is basically almost always negative, and people like go down when you're having a bad attitude, and that's what people like surround with having an attitude.
That's a good answer. Outstanding. What's up, my beloved? Outstanding. Hey, you were just giving an example when we were talking earlier about positive and negative attitude and how it can affect your life. You know, just give us a little bit about the example.
Yeah, I know all about negative attitudes. I had one until about a year and a half ago. I was getting into fights with people. I mean, just for saying names. I mean, it was stupid stuff. And I put somebody in a hospital one time. And when I did that, I realized that I should quit fighting because I was going to end up hurting somebody real bad. And then a year and a half ago, I was in a bad car accident where we totaled this Jeep and I was thrown into the windshield and just messed up the whole right side of my body. And I was just thankful for God that I was alive. And now he gives me my attitude. I mean, I go off a little bit every now and then, but I mean, I've got a good attitude now, and you can see that thanks to my friends.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that because, first of all, you know, as you can see that if God chose when you had a bad attitude to have mercy, then that means that he has a plan, no doubt, for your life. And once again, I want to thank y'all for that answer. And I just want to just share this real quick is that and he said this earlier about friends. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And friends can either help you have a positive attitude or a negative attitude. So the question is this, or I ask to you, is that does your friends cause you to have a good attitude or bad attitude? And that's going to dictate your life. So make sure you perceive correctly, all right? I see ya. Now check us out. Miss Becca, go on and do this thing for us.
Larry, I am over here with a very special guest, Chad Varga. As you can see by his stature, he was in the NBA. Chad, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, a city where basketball is a way of life. Coming out of high school, I was McDonald's All-American. Went on to play college ball in the Big East Conference at the University of Pittsburgh, where I was an All-American there. After college, was picked up by the Dallas Mavericks of the NBA, and I was with Dallas just a short time, broke my hand, and then decided to go over to Europe and play in the European professional leagues. Played in Spain the last few years of our lives, and just a year and a half ago, finished the best year of my life. Averaged just under 20 points and 10 rebounds a game. My purpose, I was going to play, for my life, I thought, was going to play 5 or 6 more years, retire. You know, I'm a big kid. I was going to move to Disney World and ride roller coasters the rest of my life, but began to feel that there was a different purpose for my life, and that purpose was talking to kids and challenging them about the choices they make and how their attitudes and those type of things affect their future. And so that's what I do now. I travel and speak to kids in public schools all across the nation and talk to them about choices and their attitudes and how they handle adversity when it comes their way in life.
That's awesome. We're going to talk to you a little bit more if you can stick around later in the show about his attitude and how it did change his life. But first, we have Rebecca St. James with Wait For Me here in the Zone.
Welcome back. That was Rebecca St. James with Wait For Me. You know, she was nominated for 8 Grammys. Not Grammys, Doves. Big difference there. She was nominated for 8 Dove Awards. this past year, and it's about time, you know. I mean, she's been doing this stuff since '91, so congratulations. But we've got Audio A coming up in Dakota. Dragging It Out of the Vaults coming up later, but first we're taking a quick break, so keep locked in here on The Zone.
Okay, our email of the week comes from Matt, who watches on Cornerstone TV in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Matt says, I think you should have a number to call and have requests for the videos. P.S. I like the show. Well, Matt, we don't have any plans for a number in the near future, but we are updating our website to make it easier for you to make your requests. Now, if you have a favorite video you'd like to see played or an email you'd like to have read on the air, just email us at info@surfthezone.com. Remember to include your mailing address, because if your email is picked to be read on the air, we'll give you a free CD.
Okay, now let's move along. Next we'll have Dakota with Gray Skies. This was a group back in the mid-90s that got mass props, so let's give it up. You're here in The Zone.
Ooh, that girl was loud. Hey, we're glad that you're here joining us on The Zone. Are you having fun? Because we're having fun. But, you know, we're going to talk a little bit more about attitude. So we got Becca Pruitt-Denny with the Life Zone Report. So make sure you keep it locked, because she's got a lot of good information to tell you about. Keep it here on The Zone.
That's a comfort, especially in these times.
That was Audio Adrenaline's newest video, Rejoice. Hi, I'm Sarah, and you're in The Zone. Now let's check in with Becca.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm back here with Chad Varga. And, Chad, your life looks amazing. Someone looks at it, I mean, pro basketball. You're on the cover of SI. Tell me about your background.
Well, a lot of times, you know, people look at my life and they see success because of the basketball, but my life wasn't always a success. I mentioned I grew up in Detroit, but grew up in a home. My mom was an alcoholic and drug addict, overcame a lot of things. I can remember being in 3rd, 4th grade. My mom would wake my sister and I up, drag us out of the house at 3 in the morning, take us to a crack house on the east side of Detroit, throw us in an abandoned room, you know, and come back and get us 3, 4 hours later when she was done getting her fix. You know, my life was difficult. When I was 13, my mom stabbed me with a butcher knife. Not my stepmom, but my mom, the lady that gave birth to me, supposed to love me. So, you know, appearance isn't always what it seems. My life was a fight. It was a struggle. I can remember laying in bed thinking, man, why is life so difficult? Why is life so hard? And just trying to overcome the difficulties of my life. But basketball became an escape. But I had an encounter with something more real than I ever had in my life, and that's what changed my life.
So that encounter, I mean, I'm assuming that shaped your whole attitude differently from where you were then as a kid to now you're preaching to teens, talking to them about real issues. How did that happen? Did your attitude have something to do with that?
Well, I just think, you know, the show being on attitude, you know, a lot of times you're dealt a difficult hand in life, you know, and your attitude is something that can affect every area of your life. I mean, it's been very easy for me, and to be honest with you, I struggled with my attitude for a long time. I was bitter, you know. I mean, it's obvious. When you go through things like that, you're going to be bitter. But, you know, I finally realized that unless I forgave my mom, unless I was willing to drop that bitterness off, you know, it was just hurting me. And I had to change my attitude. And you know what? Because I've changed my attitude, it's not only affected my life, but my wife's, my sons, my daughters, and the thousands of kids we talk to, you know, every week in the public schools. So it's God's grace that I'm here today. And, you know, keeping your attitude in check, it's a difficult thing, but it's the thing to do.
All right, we want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. Our studio audience is great as always. We want to give it up to them, but we also want to give it up to Chad, man. Hey, man, thanks for coming. We appreciate your information about attitude. But make sure you keep it locked here on The Zone, because we always got a tight show right here. Peace, baby.